If you were a kid growing up in the late 90s into the 2000s, your safe haven after school was definitely Nickelodeon. I loved watching Nickelodeon whenever I was younger. I was more into Cartoon Network, definitely in my early days of being a kid, but grew into loving Nickelodeon a little bit more and more each time I watched it. A show I watched all the time was Rocket Power. Rocket Power was just a very exciting show. Extreme sports were just very popular during this era, and seeing those guys skateboard, rollerblade, snowboard, all that stuff, it was just so cool and edgy, and it had some comedy in there. It kind of inspired me to do a lot of bike riding back in the day when I was like 9 or 10, and a lot of the times I'd make some jumps, and I thought I was just like them, and I wasn't. With Rocket Power's success, it got video games, and none other than a PS1 game. This game sold very well. I got over 500,000 units sold because it got a greatest hits, which is just hilarious to me. Judging by the gameplay, you can tell it's kind of a Tony Hawk ripoff, and yeah, it definitely is, but I just sat down and played this game all the way through for a while and want to discuss what's going on with it. Sit back, relax, let's talk about Rocket Power Team Rocket Rescue for the original PlayStation.
Awesome!
Rocket Power Team Rocket Rescue came out in the year 2001 only for the PS1. It was developed by Dark Black Ltd. And published by the lovely THQ. Dark Black, the studio, really couldn't find much on them. They made this MTV skateboarding game that came out on all systems, including the PS1 in 2000, so I guess you would say Rocket Power was their second sports game that they made. There is in fact a story to this game, so it's kind of like watching an episode of Rocket Power or something. And of course the main characters, you already know them, Otto, Reggie, Squid, and Twister. They're at Raymundo's workshop, Otto's dad. Raymundo has a shop where he sells like skateboards and other extreme sports stuff. Well, there's another company that's coming into town called Snowmart, and they're trying to take away business. So Rocket Boards is going down in business. Well, your goal in this game is to save the business. So you enter a competition and beat all the other characters, you know, Rocket Power stuff. These FMVs are very creepy. They're not the worst FMVs I've seen, but very strange to watch. At least it's like the show though. Rocket Power is a sports game, clearly, and the controls are very basic. So you use the D-pad and it has DualShock controls. I'll just go ahead and say, don't even bother with the DualShock. It's way too sensitive. Just use the D-pad. Nonetheless, you can steer left and right. X, you can perform a jump, and then holding it can help you accelerate and go faster. You can press square whenever you're on a rail and you'll grind it. Circle is to do a grab trick. Triangle is your special meter, and that's the gimmick with this game. Whenever you feel that meter all the way up at the top of the screen, you can press triangle in the air and just kind of go crazy doing a bunch of tricks while standing in the air. R1 and L1 can do front and back flips, and L2 and R2 can do 180s. When you cut the game on, there's main story, free mode, 2-player mode, as well as Tito's challenge. Main story is the main part of the game. You'll go through 4 different stages, each having multiple missions in each one. You complete the objective of that mission, and you'll move on to the next. You also get the choice of 4 different characters. You get Otto, Reggie, Squid, or Twister at the start. There's really no difference, unfortunately. It's just kind of cosmetics. Kind of a missed opportunity. There's different mission types and extreme sports throughout the whole game. Of course, you got skateboarding, bike riding, rollerblading, and snowboarding. They all control the same, except for snowboarding, you'll have to go downhill in order to gain momentum. There's some missions in this game that require a time limit where you have to go through these rings, like the first mission. It kind of just drops you in the deep end, doesn't really do much for you. You just start, okay, you failed. If you do fail, it goes back to that main menu and it's a long loading. It's actually a lot faster to just start at the very last second and then restart level. It's immediate. Another type of mission where you'll have to collect a bunch of pieces, and in this one, it's your bike. So apparently somebody took your bike and ripped all the pieces off the bike. That's kind of random. Nonetheless though, you're just going fetching is all this is. You just got to find out where each bike part is in the whole place. And they're tucked away pretty good, and they don't really give you a lot of time. It took me several tries to complete these. Your competition missions, where you'll go out and you'll just grind for points for 2 minutes, just like Tony Hawk. In the beginning of the game, as long as you get in the top 3, you move on to the next level, but towards the end, you'll have to eventually get first place. But trust me, it's not really that hard because of how broken the special mechanic is in this game. You can increase the gauge of your special meter by a couple different things. You can do regular tricks, and that's how you'll do it. There's these gold stars you'll see all the time, and it'll swap to a quick JPEG of toast. Yeah, pretty lazy there. and you'll get that meter filled up all the way. There is one more pickup, by the way, lightning bolts. You'll find these sometimes. They'll just make you go faster for like 2 seconds. The last type of mission you can do is a race, and you'll do this sometimes, and the racing is just hilarious. They don't really pose much of a threat. You just kind of keep going. It doesn't really tell you where to go, but it's not hard to figure out. This city level here was kind of stupid. Towards the end, you're just kind of going. There's multiple paths. Well, where the hell do I go? Well, what direction do I go? Doesn't say anything. I will admit, though, there are a lot of places you actually play on that are from the show. You got the amusement park here, which I'm sure you've seen this multiple times already in the video. You got Mad Town. You'll go here and do some stuff. And you got the city, like mentioned before, and others like the mountain. So pretty cool. They have some variety. If you beat the main story, you can go back to free play and just kind of play around for as long as you want until you get bored of scoring. The last mode, Tito's Challenge, is just a bunch of fetching. You just go and find stuff and complete it in the time limit. There are unlockable characters in this game, and they do kind of feel a little different, especially Raymundo here. He seems heavier. Apparently you can get Tommy Pickles in this game as well, which that is so funny. Skateboarding as Tommy Pickles, that's a dream come true. So yeah, Rocket Power for the PlayStation 1 is a very blah game. It's about half of how good Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is. Doing tricks can be a little wonky. Sometimes you'll jump off the half pipe and, well, you'll just kind of fall on your ass and get hurt. Look at this glitch whenever I was in this bike race. I was stuck permanently. The characters say goofy random stuff whenever you're playing and it gets repetitive, but I mean, at the same time, this is a kid's game after all.
Insane! Nailed it! Alright!
The only compliment I really give this game is the graphics. I like the cell shadiness they did here with this one. If it was a little bit more polished, it'd be a beautiful game on the PlayStation 1. There's just really nothing here worth going out of your way for. It's playable, it gets the job done, but nothing exciting here. The only reason to play this one is if you were really big into Rocket Power and you just want to see what this is as a curiosity, knock yourself out. Maybe a good 15-20 minutes will do ya. Other than that, I would definitely pass and play some Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. This game is trapped on the PlayStation 1, and if you want to play it, it's like $5 to $10 all day long. Very cheap game and very accessible because of the price. Well, that's all I've got to say about this game. I'm gonna go watch some Rocket Power reruns and just pretend this game never existed. Thanks so much for watching this video. You have anything to say? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you got to say about Rocket Power, Nickelodeon, or just PS1 games. Until next time, y'all take it easy.